Hi, T and Dainty here, and today I want to talk to you about how to get more leads. I'm going to tell you why in a second. But before I get into the presentation and how to get more leads, I want to give you a little background on myself. Some of you may not know who I am. The people who are watching this, that's my name. I have a company called B2B Business Coach where I help business-to-business companies sell and market their products and services better. And so I deal with business to business, not necessarily consumers. A bit about my background. I've trained thousands of entrepreneurs, executives, small business owners, consultants, sales and marketers in sales and marketing techniques that work. I've been in the business for over 35 years. I've worked with hundreds of businesses over the years. And what I do is help you get a revenue leap for your business. I've owned two businesses, so I'm right up on that. I had a recent client that had tripled his customer base in less than 18 months when we were working with them. And I also guarantee my work and results. So if you did want to work with me, that's my background, and I always guarantee my work and results. So what's going on right now? Well, I know that companies are struggling to get new business. The world is in turmoil. I don't think we have to, we all know that. The U.S. seems to be at a standstill until their elections are over in November. And if Mitt Romney wins, it'll probably take at least another year before we really know how his policies will help the U.S. economy. I'm not picking sides here. I'm just stating some facts. Excuse me. And if Obama wins again, hopefully he can do more in his second term than he has in his first term, because everyone knows the U.S. economy has helped drag down the world's economy. Now, to be fair, and I'm not necessarily going for Romney or Obama, Obama did inherit a pretty bad state of affairs when he came in. But things have to change sometime along the line. And again, although right now the entire world economy is in disarray, particularly with the way the European debt crisis doesn't look like it's going to end very soon, the Mideast conflicts, and of course the Asian slowdown. Excuse me. So what can you do to help your company survive and grow? That's what's really important. All of these things affect it, but what can you do? So I decided the best way to help companies was, one of the best ways, to ask their leaders what their biggest marketing issue is. I asked the question through a number of the channels that I use, including LinkedIn and through emails to clients and my blog. And it turns out that the three most common issues mentioned were, number one was lead generation, lead conversion, and account management. Okay, they were the three mentioned pretty well all the time. However, lead generation was mentioned about 80% of the time. So I decided I'm going to do a webinar on lead generation. Now, this isn't it. This is just a video leading up to that, to help companies like yours get leads over the next few months. Leads that can bring in revenues before the end of this year, before the end of 2012. So it leaves us a little over 4 months to do things. And I'll tell you about what the webinar is going to be in a little bit. Before we get too far into this video, let's look at why people are having trouble getting new leads. First of all, it probably isn't getting new leads you really want. What you really want, if you're like every other marketer, business person, and salesperson I've met, and I throw myself into this group too, you want to grow your income. You want new leads so you can grow your income. You want to find a simpler and better way to get richer sooner. We all do. We all want to get richer sooner so that we can make our own decisions. And getting more leads and converting them to buying customers, you will then reach your goal of getting richer sooner. So this is a stepping stone for your real goal, which is to help you get richer sooner so that you can make your own decisions about what you want to do. By the way, don't be ashamed of this about wanting to get rich. That is what we all want. It's amazing how many people are ashamed or you know, they just don't seem to put the right things together to get rich, to get richer sooner. We all want to do that. So you can lead the lifestyle you want, not what someone else tells you to lead. I don't care whether you're executive of a Fortune 500 company now, that's what you're doing is building your wealth, or you're just starting out as an entrepreneur, you're working as a marketer in a company or salesperson or whatever. That's what we want to do. So how can you do this? What can I help you do to do this as far as lead generation? Let's look at it. First, there are three basic questions that need to be answered before we should even be exploring how to get new leads. And if you don't have these three questions down or elements down as your three basics, then it's almost impossible to get new leads or to get the right qualified leads. Because we don't know these three basic elements, then we won't be able to get the leads we want. So what are these three questions? What are these three basic elements? First one is, who is your ideal client? Very few people define that properly. And in the webinar, I'm going to show you how to do that. What issues do they face, which is really key. And from there, what's your value proposition that helps them overcome these issues? It really should be a unique value proposition to your company, to your business. And that's what first thing we're going to discuss in the webinar coming up next week. So these three are key. These three are really key. These three, and I just said that, key to every lead you generate. You need to define these well if you want to succeed in any lead generation exercise. This is the first thing you have to do, define those three elements. Now let's look at the number of methods there are for generating leads. But first, just before we do that, you'll notice that I use the word client versus a lot of people use the word customer. And there's a reason for that. Webster's dictionaries define client, one that is under the protection of another. Okay, so your client is under your protection. You're helping them move their business along, just as I want to help you do that. Where a customer is simply one that purchases a commodity or a service. A customer more is a consumer, where a business should be a client. Okay? So you just purchase a commodity or service, and you don't really care, all that much about it. It's not going to affect you that much. If you're going to buy a hammer is a hammer. If you're going to buy an ERP system, then that's totally different. So even if these people are called customers in your marketplace or industry, always think of them as clients and under your protection. So that's why I use client instead of customers, and I hope it makes sense to you, and I hope you do the same thing. Now, let's look at a bunch of ways you can generate new leads for your business. First, I want to look at some offline ways that are still very effective. First thing is your current customers. You can generate leads from them. Past clients, a lot of people forget about them, and you've got to find out why they left you, and you've got to talk to them about why, especially if you haven't talked to them in, say, 6 months. Referrals, another great way, and very few people do that properly, and we're going to talk about that in the webinar I present next week. Partners are another way to get partners in joint ventures, actually, where a partner is somebody you work with that you may need to help you implement something. A joint venture is another company that has a product that maybe not similar to yours, but something you could sell into your customer base that you know they need, and vice versa. They could sell your products or service into their customer base because they know they need them. User groups are another way to get more business. As an example, if you've got 50 or more clients or past clients, and you invite them to a user group, and then you can invite a lot of prospects, and you can show them the new things you got going on. So they're very effective. Trade shows aren't as effective as they used to be, and quite frankly, I think they're a waste of money. And unless you really, really hone in on the clients, and I'm not going to go into how to do that right now, but if you did want to know how to go into a trade show, then give me a call and I'll let you know. Direct response marketing is still key, and you still got to do that. And I'm going to talk about that in a webinar too. And seminars are still really good. Get a bunch of people together in a room and show them what you are, particularly if you've got a lot of local business. Or if you don't mind traveling, you want to go to New York or London, or now that the Olympics are over, or anywhere. Get a group together, call them in, get a bunch of people and give a seminar. They're still very effective. A lot of people still give seminars, and they are effective, not only for you, but to help the attendees network and market with each other. So they're offline things you can do, and some of them are still very, very effective. And I'm going to talk about 2 or 3 of those in my webinar. Webinars, these are online things you can do. Webinars and teleseminars. Webinars, and I'm going to do, as I mentioned, are very effective. So are teleseminars. Pay-per-click marketing, I think you need to do if you really want to grow your business, both in Google, Facebook, and to a certain extent LinkedIn, but particularly the first two. And I'm going to talk about that in a webinar. Website is your most important marketer by far. A lot of people don't do it right. I'm going to mention that and talk about that in the webinar, what you need to do to have a very effective website. Email marketing is still key. You've got to do email marketing to keep people in touch, RSS feeds, etc., to get people to your blogs and everything. White papers, guides, etc., to get people to have content. And really, that's what you want to do. You need to build up content in order to get people to understand you through social media. That's what it's really about. Social media. all kinds of platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook. And we're going to talk about LinkedIn in particular for B2B in the webinar, because I want to show you how to get LinkedIn leads now. And there are a lot more that you can do, like YouTube and all kinds of social media platforms out there. But I'm just going to talk about a few things in the webinar. But there's all kinds of things that you can do right now to get leads, and I'm going to show you how to get 5 of them in the next video and in the webinar. But as mentioned previously, before you use any of these methods, you need to define very rigorously the 3 elements we talked about. Who's your ideal client? What issues do they face? And what is your value proposition that helps them overcome these issues? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to find and define the issues your prospects and clients face, because you've got to know them. I'm going to show you how to find them, and then I'm going to show you how to define them and how that can help your particular products and services, how to bring your products and services that match their issues, so that you can incorporate the structure into all your marketing. It's something I've taught. It's something I'm sure that you haven't done. If you have, then that's great, but it doesn't hurt to review it. So stay tuned within the next couple of days for my next video. I will also be revealing a webinar, as I mentioned I'll be doing. It's called 5 Foolproof Methods for Generating New Leads. Talk about 1 or 2 online and 2 or 3 offline, or 1 or 2 offline, 2 or 3 methods online that you can use. And these are to get you revenue within the next 4.5 months, so that you can increase your wealth, so that you can get more income no matter what you're doing, whether you're an executive or a salesperson or a marketer or a small business owner, a consultant. You need to get more revenue in the next 4 months before the end of the year, before December 31st, 2012, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So until next time, please like this video and pass it on to your friends and colleagues. Okay? Thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.